All right, we're going to nerd out about building equipment today. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Kato Zane and I make videos about audio engineering and music production, but today's going to be a little bit different because I have Rick here from Austin Mics, an actual person in the studio. Welcome.
Yes, thank you.
And you guys are based, Austin Mics is based in San Diego,
In San
right?
Diego, yeah. I was in Austin when I designed the microphone, so that's why it's called that.
Cool.
But now I'm in San Diego. Family, house, dog, kids.
Awesome.
All that
Cool.
stuff.
And you guys do like DIY pedals and microphones and preamps, is that right?
Yeah, preamps and tube amps now, and reverb pedals and overdrive pedals, and just fun stuff where you can learn about what you're actually putting together, not just putting it together, but you're learning why that resistor goes there and why that capacitor goes there.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And recently, Rick was at an AES event where you ran a workshop, right? And we were taking components out of pedals and putting components in and swapping them out and learning how the different components actually affect the sound that you hear from the pedal, which I thought was like really cool. That was why I wanted you to come here.
Yeah, that came about on a drive. Actually, I was driving out to Crass in Arizona, the Conservatory of Recording Arts, and a buddy of mine who was also an instructor at City College. We wanted to do a pedal workshop, and I said, why don't we do a pedal workshop where it's not just build this pedal
Yeah.
and it comes out to be this and it sounds like this. Why don't we make something that we can swap out components and then the students can like
Yeah.
design their own and be, it can be, a boost or blues or metal or whatever, fuzz, and they could pick out those components and it would just be, fun to do.
Yeah.
And everybody's pedal sounds different. So
Yeah, that stuff's so cool. I did a while back before COVID hit. I did a electronics technician degree at was it the community college here in town, and I'm like they taught us how what the different components are, and like I learned a lot, but there's like so much you don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to apply it all to the audio world now. So like for me, that was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. There's a lot that I don't know, and I've been doing this for 30 years. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
There's
you can just keep
so
digging.
much stuff out there. So
Yeah, it's like with the music production stuff too.
exactly. Yeah,
think
there's
it's
just
the
a
same.
never-ending hole of
Yeah.
education.
Yeah. Cool. Well, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Do like a little intro for us?
Okay, so my name's Rick, and I'm a creative person, I suppose. My dad was an electronics engineer or a manufacturing engineer, and he always encouraged me to build stuff with my hands when I was a kid. So wood projects and electronic projects and stuff, and it just sort of snowballed into a career. I went to San Diego Community College. I graduated from Mesa with a degree in electronics.
Oh, cool.
And then that spun off into, I became an audio technician, fixing audio amplifiers for drive-throughs, like at Jack in the Box and stuff like that, when they wouldn't work. And then that spun off into designing technical documents about how to install them and how to repair them if they had problems. And then I became a trainer, and then that spun off into a huge career in training and technical training and instructional design. And then the pandemic and 25 years of doing that just sort of blew the wind out of my sails. And I started doing this, which I'd sort of been doing on the side for 15 years, making microphones and stuff for friends and just doing it on the side. And it was doing well enough that it became my business, and I was tired of running the rat race. So that's where I ended up as Austin Mics, and now I do that full time, and so that's my full time job.
Great. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So for anyone interested in getting into this, what kind of skills do you recommend that they try to develop?
Wow. Okay, that's a that's a deep
Sorry,
question.
I'm just like,
no, it's awesome. That's an awesome
like
question.
a
Yeah.
squirrel,
So
just like...
seriously, if you want to get into building guitar pedals, buy a kit, right? Start with that. Also education helps. I mean, I don't have a 4-year degree. I don't have an electrical engineering degree. I have an electronics technician degree. In fact, the A in Austin Mics, there's this little square wave in my logo that's sort of hidden in my
I love
logo.
that.
So my degree is in digital circuits, and I just put that in there, just sort of hidden in there. So if you have the opportunity to go get an education, even at a community college that doesn't cost you $100,000, you don't have to go way into debt. Get into it and look at it and see what's good. Pick up a soldering iron. You can pick up a toolkit. Oops, hi, that was a piano. There's toolkits you can buy online, and I'll show you this in a minute. And they have soldering irons and meters and wire strippers and inside. it's just, I mean, people learn by doing.
Yeah.
Right? You can go to class, and that does help. And you can get the books and all that stuff, but just getting in there and breaking stuff or buying broken stuff and trying to fix it, that was another thing, right? My career started with guitars.
Oh, cool.
I started taking apart electric guitars when I started playing guitar, and upgrading the pickups and upgrading the knobs and the switches and stuff like that. And that back then it was in books. There was no internet. You had to go look online.
Yep.
Or there was no online to go look at. You had to go look in a book or something, or go to the library. And just do it. I mean, I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
The internet is great, and thanks for watching the video, but get out there and like build something.
Yeah.
So that's really what I would say. Yeah.
Cool. I think about that, like, what I thought I knew a lot when I graduated college, and I'm like super in favor of higher ed and everything because I've done all that. But I think about I thought I knew so much, and then like the years of working, I'm like I knew nothing when I graduated.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And now I feel the same way with like the electronic stuff. It's like I got a degree. The one I did was free, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, the community college one. Now they're
very
doing
nice.
it for free. Yeah. So if anyone's in San Diego and is interested, apparently, at least before COVID, it was free.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, back when I went, it was nearly free. I think it was $6 a unit or something like that.
Oh, cool.
But
nice.
now they're like $30 a unit, which is still totally affordable.
Yeah.
Take a class for a whole semester for $100 or $150.
Yeah.
That's you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
And then if you really love it, go to the 4-year university. Go get that degree, right? That college degree.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that either. It just my path was not that. My path, I got hired because I could do the work, and then I got hired into audio, and I was already an audio person, and then I used that to become a trainer and an instructional designer, and that was my whole career.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I feel like you learn what the useful skills are too. Better from actually doing, like what you're actually practicing.
Yeah, adults learn by doing things. Kids, you can tell them, hey, put wire A at wire B, and they'll go, okay. But if you tell an adult that, they're going to be like, I want to move that wire. I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
It's just the way adults learn. So again, when you're done with the video, go out and build something.
Yeah. So what, you run these workshops. Can you tell us more about the workshops?
Yeah, so the workshops came about through, again, my same friend who is an instructor at City College. He actually now is the chair. In 15 years, he's stayed at the San Diego Community College District and has become the chair of the program at San Diego City. And he actually bought the kit, and I recognized his email as a .edu email address. And I'm like, hey, are you an educator? Would you like to do a workshop?
Yeah.
And he's like, hell yeah, I want to do a workshop. I loved building this microphone. So we set up a workshop, and I thought we could get done in 3 hours because that's all it takes me to build the microphone, right?
No.
Boy, I was mistaken. So over the first few times, I came up with some tools, and I wrote better instructions, and I took a lot of photos, and I practiced, and I, in my career as a technical trainer, helped out tremendously. And I figured out that I didn't need to buy 10 sets of tools. I could have 3 sets of tools, and we would all just rotate to these 3 tables, and it could be affordable. And we ended up doing workshops, and I've been doing workshops with Bob Kosselin at City College for 15 years now.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and we've gone out to UNLV. Occasionally I will ping some places that are close, and I'll say, hey, I do these workshops. Would you like to do one? Here's some videos. Here's some photographs. Here's some, stuff. And they'll be like, this sounds great. Let's do one, So yeah, I've been out to UNLV a bunch of times. I've been out to Crass in Arizona. I ended up meeting David Royer, who's also an educator type. He loves to teach. He loves to give color commentary when we're doing workshops. He'll come in and he'll just say, that looks pretty good, and then he'll come to my workshops and he'll give a little presentation about his microphones and about his recordings and stuff. So he's a character too. So yeah, and it just becomes this. I love watching people go testing 1, 2, and their eyes light up and their smile happens. It's so awesome for me personally. And I know that they're having a great time too. We just did one on Saturday up at Miramar College, just like 2 days ago. And everybody walked away with a working ribbon mic that they had built that day, which is pretty crazy.
So cool. So, I want to do one of those
ribbon
ribbon
mics. Yeah, it's awesome, yeah.
I've only ever done for like kit stuff. I did a compressor once, and that's it. But
Yeah, the ribbon mic, the kit that I make is a lot of mechanical assembly. We bend the screens and we solder the screens together and we hammer the stuff through and we're screwing things together. And there's only like 11 actual electrical solder points.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Do people handle the ribbon itself?
Yeah. Oh, they cut the ribbon.
That's so scary.
They cut the ribbon. They corrugate the ribbon, make the little waves in it, and then they lay the ribbon in and clamp it down. They do everything. It's I'm looking at the microphone. I should be looking up there. They do everything.
I keep forgetting.
They do everything. And so, cool. So there's a station. We do the ribbons, and we cut paper first, and we get expert at cutting paper the right way, right? And then I let them cut the foil, and then they put the foil in there, and then they corrugate it through these little machines that I bring.
Yeah.
And then later on, they wire up the magnets, and then another one, they build the screen at another station, and then we all just rotate every hour or every hour and a half. We rotate, and everybody builds all the microphone at all these stations.
That's so cool.
And then we put it all together at the very end, and it's pretty awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah. Do you have does each kit have extra ribbons in case they mess up?
Yeah. In fact, I sort of force my students to cut 6 ribbons. Even though you only need one, the chance of you getting it in the first time, because nobody's ever done this, right? Everybody's brand new at this. The chance of you getting the first one is pretty low. The chance of you getting the second one in, better. And then by the third or fourth one, you get the idea of what you need to do. So we definitely have extra foil. I always bring extra parts, and just in case people drop something and they can't find it, the little tiny screws.
I've done that so much. I spend a few hours a week-ish working at a repair shop down the road. And we do audio stuff.
Oh, very nice.
And so that's how I'm continuing to learn in some ways. But I've dropped screws and just there's
gone.
No hope.
There's no
hope. I dropped one of the caps for a soundboard, one of the knobs, the little colorful knobs.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, it's big. Where did it go?
Right.
And I spent an hour looking for this thing, and you know where it was?
It was I don't know.
It fell into my shoe. It was between my sock and my shoe. And I checked there once, and I didn't feel it because I kind of patted my ankle to be like, is it there? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then an hour or two later, I figured out that's where it was.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's so upsetting.
I was trying to find something this morning to bring here, and I couldn't find it. I don't know where it is. It's in my house somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it is. It's just one of those things. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a thought about the ribbon mics. Oh, what do you teach them about the ribbon, handling it and
you sort of learn that by just doing that in the class about how to handle it and what works and what doesn't. And one of the first questions that I always ask is, does anybody know how a ribbon mic works? And then somebody eventually will go, there's magnets and there's and then we'll talk about how that all works. Magnets, there's a huge magnetic field and there's a strip of aluminum foil, really light aluminum foil, and it moves with the air, and it's not stretched tight like a condenser mic, and doesn't have a big coil of wire like a dynamic mic, so it gets to move freely. And that makes a little electrical signal, and then that transformer amplifies that. We do all that stuff in the moment. And then when people have questions, why are these red wires coming out this side and these 2 wires poking out that side? We'll discuss all that stuff.
That's cool.
While we're doing it, or how to use the mic when we're done. Some people hold a side address ribbon mic and they'll hold it like they're a performer. And a lot of people don't know, right? And so that's part of my job, is to help them understand that stuff.
I've seen that in movies where they positioned it wrong, and I'm
totally.
like, oh no.
Right, or on an ad somewhere for something.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Do you, I had a thought. What was my thought? The ribbon mic thing. Oh, are you in the school of thought where a ribbon mic is a type of dynamic mic? Because it's a similar mechanism?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's magnets, and there's, instead of a coil of wire, there's just a piece of foil that moves back and forth.
Right.
They're actually velocity microphones. You want to go down this path?
Yeah. Can we?
So, a dynamic mic is like a reverse speaker, right? In a speaker, you excite the coil, and it moves because it moves away from the magnet or towards the magnet, right? In a ribbon mic, it's actually a pressure gradient. The difference in pressure between the front of the mic and the front of the ribbon and the back of the ribbon is how that thing moves. Okay. So it's a pressure gradient, or a velocity mic, the velocity of the sound waves that are going to it. So it's a little different than a dynamic mic in that you're not exciting a magnetic field, you're just creating a voltage inside of it. We're getting nerdy, extremely nerdy here. Yeah. And the benefit, I guess, is that the foil is so light, it's almost what they call the loading mass of the air. And so it can move with these just ultra incredibly small energy waves, high frequencies specifically, and you can capture that. And then your transformer is like the gatekeeper for getting out of the microphone. It can pass certain frequencies or not pass certain frequencies, and then you go out into your mixer, and even the impedance of your preamp helps, is tremendously important in that.
Yeah.
So I'm on the fence about it, calling it a dynamic mic.
Yeah.
It is kind of. But they're generally thought of as velocity or pressure gradient mics.
Okay, that's interesting. I have like a question dash a thought about that. So like velocity, right? That's just speed.
Yes.
So that's like sound is a constant speed, right? 344 meters per second.
Yes.
I think. So why?
You might be asking a question I don't know the answer to.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's silly, but like, why is the velocity the thing if that's something that's constant with sound?
Yeah, I don't know. That maybe the term velocity is different. You're getting into an area where I might not know the vocabulary. This is something I need to learn.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe
what does that mean? What does the velocity mean? Right. And it might have to do with the amplitude. It might have to do with the pressure. How fast? I know that how long it takes the sound to travel around to the other side shapes the high frequency response.
Okay.
So there is some distance that it has to travel around to the other side. So maybe that. You're right, but at any frequency, it's going to be the same. Should be the same. Yeah.
It's not like it's going through different materials.
That's true. Yeah. Huh. I don't know. So that's good. I don't know if you know about why it's called a velocity mic. Let us know. Let me know. I want to hear. I want to see it in the comments.
Yeah.
And don't just go look it up. No. You know, if you really know, type it in.
Type it in, please.
Yeah.
I the other thing about that, and you can tell me if this is right.
Okay.
But it's with dynamic mics, it's similar to the idea of like, those flashlights where you shake them to charge them, like the emergency flashlights. Is that's the same idea, right?
Yeah, you're moving a magnet through a coil of wire. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that's a dynamic mic, right? And the opposite would be if you charged up that coil, that magnet would move back and forth like it does in your phone. Your phone vibrates, it's got a little coil of wire, and there's a little magnet that goes and just vibrates back and forth.
Oh,
and that's the vibration that you get on your phone.
Is that how like old doorbells work too? It's like where it has a little
that's more
the bell.
Yeah, it doesn't vibrate back and forth. It's an electromagnet that just goes bong.
Yeah.
And then you let it go and it goes bong bong and it bongs two of them,
okay.
Bong, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah. So very very similar. Electromagnetics, that's more like a speaker, but it's a sort of a digital speaker. It's all the way on or all the way off.
Okay.
And in a speaker you have some sort of range of motion in between there.
Yeah, so it's like variations in voltage instead of binary.
That's correct. Yes.
Cool. That's cool.
These are interesting topics, right?
Yeah.
These are things I never thought about this.
Cool.
I'm glad you're thinking about it.
That's why I like having conversations.
Yeah, it's all good.
Cool. Well, maybe what we should do is switch into looking at stuff. What do you think?
I like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually I'm gonna split this video in two.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging out. We're going to have part 2 next week. Please check it out. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll have links in the description. Do you want to do a shout out for your website?
AustinMics, MICS.com. And I'm actually changing. I'm updating the website this week. So
cool.
By the time you see this, it'll probably be a brand new website.
Nice.
So it's
cool.
going to be awesome.
And then you're on like Instagram and stuff too.
Instagram, yeah, at AustinMics, MICS, just like the microphone, like you'd say a mic.
Cool.
AustinMics.
Sweet. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. Okay. Okay, I hope the GoPro's still going. It is, thank God.